Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 10th episode of the Spots We Miss podcast and live talk. I am your host, Niketa Nicole, and I'm so excited about today. It's so hard to believe that we are in our 10th episode. It just seems like just yesterday. If you've been following us and just keeping up with our podcast and our weekly shows, you know that we started in June. Our first episode was June 26th. And man, it feels like just yesterday that, that we started this. And I'm excited about everything that's happening with the show. And I'm excited about everyone who has been just watching us and tuning in. And it's been a roller coaster, a whole whirlwind of emotions. It's been nerve-wracking sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just learning and enjoying the ride. Though I've definitely been enjoying the ride, and I'm grateful for everything that I've learned with doing this podcast. But the podcast is called Spots We Miss Podcast and Live Talk. And I've given a history about the podcast and where I came up with the name and all of that. But I just want to share with y'all again and let y'all know that I started the podcast because one day I had a thought. It was one of those shower moments when you're thinking in your shower and stuff. And I had a thought, and I said, as humans, we want to get it right. We want to always get it right. We always want to be on top of everything. And sometimes we think we're doing a pretty good job. And many times we are doing a good job. But what happens sometimes is that in hindsight and retrospect, we may look at our lives or, just take our lives and we take our lives in review, right? And we're looking at our lives and we're like, wow, I kind of messed that one up, And I thought about the scripture when Jesus was washing his disciples' feet. And Simon Peter said to him, you're going to wash our feet? And you being who you are, you're going to wash our feet? And Jesus said, yeah, I'm going to wash your feet, because if I don't wash you, put my phone on, my notifications are going off. He said, if I don't wash you, you don't have any part in me. And so Simon said, well, in that case, then wash me from head to toe. And Jesus said, if I wash your feet, I've done enough. You're clean all over. And I thought in that moment, we miss spots, but God, he doesn't miss any spots. He covers the spots that we miss. And so, let me show y'all. Can y'all see? Hold on. Let me see if y'all can see my t-shirt. Hold on, y'all. Look at that. Y'all see that? The spots we miss? I'm trying to see. You know how when you're looking at something, you can't see like everyone else can see. So there it is, y'all. God covers the spots we miss. You guys can purchase my t-shirts now. If you just click the link in the description box on either of our platforms, whether you're on Instagram or Facebook. And I also have it on YouTube too. But it's a landing page and you can just click merch, and you can, we're still building our store, but you can get these t-shirts online. So in that moment when I was thinking about it, I'm like, if God covers the spots we miss. And when in life, we're ever learning, we're always learning, and we're always coming to more understanding and more knowledge about life, and just even getting a better grip on life. And so the spots we miss is something so special to me, because we can talk about things, learn from one another, and uncover the spots that we miss. So that's what this podcast is all about. I feel like that was a long spew, but you guys get it. Another thing about me is, many people who follow me on Facebook and Instagram, they know that I am a believer. So a lot of times in my podcast, I'm going to be talking about spiritual things. I'm going to be talking about my faith. And while I understand that other people may not have the same faith as me, it's so important to express my faith. And so that's why you all will hear me refer to the Bible or Jesus or things like that, because that's my faith. But so, yeah, so that's just a little bit about the spots we missed, a little bit about me. And then the other thing that I shared, maybe I shared it in episode 2 or 3, that in June of 2021, I left corporate America on purpose. I left corporate America on purpose, and I sought out to start my own business. And I also started this podcast, and I wanted to do more teaching and tutoring. And so I also tutor for the Princeton Review. And so I'm doing that as well. But I'm out here walking by faith as well, y'all. And so this podcast is so special to me. And everyone who follows us and tunes in week after week, I appreciate it so much. I thank you. I just feel so supported when you all are, tuning in and you're commenting on our posts and things like that. It just makes me feel so supported. And when you make a decision like I made to leave corporate America and to leave that part of my life behind, there are emotional moments in that. And so to have that support and to feel supported, that means everything to me, especially in this time of my life. But I am so encouraged and optimistic even about some of the things that I've even seen God do for me, even as of lately. And he's just been encouraging me to go on. And I just want to give a quick testimony, for someone else who may find themselves on the same journey that I'm on. But I remember many years ago, I had graduated from Madonna University with a degree in journalism and English at a split degree, and found myself out of work and unfulfilled in a lot of the jobs that I was doing. And I would notice how quick I would burn out on jobs. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Why come I can't get it together? And then, that comparison, that comparison is the thief of joy. And you begin to compare yourself with other people. Like, why can't I just look at them? They're doing it. They got it together. And God had to quickly show me, but you're not them. Let them be them and you be you. And I remember looking for work and not being able to find what I wanted. And I distinctly heard the voice speak to me and said, hire yourself. I was like, huh? What do you mean hire myself? And at that time, I wasn't really in a position to do any hiring myself or anything, but I'll never forget those words because I couldn't find my niche or that thing for me. And I just remember, hire yourself. In other words, do what you're good at and then make money from it. Stay in your lane, be in position. But if you don't see what you want, create what you want. And that is, it's not easy always, because you're essentially on your own and you're figuring things out, but you're trusting and you are in your lane and you understand your niche now. And that to me is so rewarding. But enough about that. Today, we are going to be going over some of the episodes that we've done. Last week, we had our final episode in our series, Being Man. And then before that, we aired Being Woman, and we did 3 parts. We did 3 episodes on that. And you know what? I have some episodes that we're going to recap with that, but that was so rewarding. But I'm going to tell y'all that Being Man, that was for me. I don't know. It's just something about when men speak to me. I don't even know what it is. Even like I've always even said when men sing, even when men dance, I don't know. It's just something different. And so being able to talk to my uncle, being able to talk to my cousin, being able to talk to LT from the Turks and Caicos Islands, and Antoine Jackson, who came on for a small bit to talk to us. That was so rewarding. And it was just so special to see men talk about their faith, and I thought that was really something special. And before that, we talked about my first episode was "Are You Playing Hurt?" And you'll hear me reference that throughout the podcast and um, throughout other episodes and throughout our next season. You'll hear me talk about "Are You Playing Hurt?" and reference that because I really believe that that's kind of how everything came together with this podcast. I wanted to talk to people not just about I wanted to have open, honest conversations about those hard conversations and those sticky moments in our lives. And a lot of us, and I don't care what field you are, I don't care what, if you're married, if you're single, we have trauma and we have emotional scars, and they have shaped us. Uh, Whether they have shaped us in the most positive ways or whether they have shaped us in negative ways, but they have shaped us, and they are a big part of the fabric of our lives and our beings. And so I'll always be talking about our emotional health and all of that because I think it's important for us to keep having those conversations. Hi, Deb. Thank you for tuning in today. We appreciate you. Deb is a friend of mine. She is the founder of the Community Advocate Network for Michigan, and she has a podcast that I love, and she's always so supportive. So thanks, Deb. This is our 10th episode, and just really excited about it. So I want to go ahead and do a clip from the first episode. And listen, guys, we have come a long way, if you ask me, in my opinion, because some of the episodes, as I was editing some of them today, some of them were really dark and we couldn't really find our lighting. And so I started out with one computer when we first started the podcast, and now I have a new Dell. It's so nice, and it gives me a better lighting and a more crisp view. And so some of our videos were just a little dark, but we were able to fix that as well. So we've come a bit of a ways with the spots we missed, but this is episode 1. I believe it's with Jeanette. Hear the commercials, and the commercials ask you, have you been injured in an automobile accident? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a simple procedure that left you disabled? Mm-hmm. And then they give you that number to call on the screen. But what about people? What about people who have mental issues, and it's not that simple always? Mm-hmm. Or maybe there was a trauma, something happened. Everyone isn't walking around here with mental health issues, but there are traumas that happen in our lives, and traumas are not just, like people think that PTSD is only for war veterans, right?
Right.
But it's not. You can have something in your life that's so traumatic that it will leave you with a postpartum, or not a postpartum, but a post-traumatic stress disorder.
Absolutely. And I think people, I love that you said that, because I think people forget anxiety, stress, they're all related to our mental health. Mm-hmm. Some people want to just put that label of, I don't have mental health issues, I'm not crazy. It's not about being crazy. It's about self-care. It's about learning how to know where you are and take care of yourself mentally and take care of each other mentally to make sure that you're able to be an active member of the community.
That was Janelle. Janelle is one of my closest friends, and she lives in Ohio. And I gave a little bit of history about us. But Janelle and I are 20 years in friendship. And I remember when God sent me to the campus, and I didn't want to leave my apartment. I remember this so vividly. And Jay and I met, and Jay lives in Ohio, but she was actually going to school at Madonna in Michigan. And that's how we connected as friends. But yeah, I am just like, when I think about that episode, Are You Playing Hurt, being our first episode, I really wanted to get across that as humans, as people, we have life happens to us. And people were asking me when I first, because I did a blog on it. You guys should go onto my blog. It's niketa.nicole.wordpress.com. And I posted that on my blog, the blog post of Are You Playing Hurt? And people were asking me when they would see just the headline on my social platforms on Instagram and Facebook, they were like, what do you mean, are you playing hurt? I had more than one person ask me that. And I said, I liken Are You Playing Hurt to athletes in their careers. They sometimes, they get injuries. And many times because they have that contract ahead of them, many times because they have money on the table, they rush it. They want to hurry up and get back. And they play hurt many times. And not just for money reasons, but they love the sport. And they play hurt. But the detriment to playing hurt, if you're an athlete, is that it can end your career if you continue to play on that hurt part of your body. It can end your career. Well, it's the same thing with us as humans. We can only go so long, and with our emotional injuries before we can end our lives or, destroy ourselves. It can be very destructive. And so that's where Are You Playing Hurt from? And I'm a sports person. So I love football. I love basketball. The only thing that I don't like is baseball, but I understand the sport. I know baseball. I know the rules, just like I know the rules for basketball and all that. I know the sport, but I just don't like it. I always felt that baseball was too slow and too quiet. And so, but yeah, playing hurt. That was our first episode. Our second episode was, do your relationship support your spiritual growth? And that was important to me too, because I realized quickly, not very long ago, some months back, that there were some things that God was doing with me, and I needed to have the right relationships in place for what I knew He was doing in my life, and to just, support myself while God was supporting me in my life, if that makes sense. And I wanted to be a part of that growth that I saw. And I thought, and I saw something somewhere. Someone said something. It was an Instagram post, and they said, in relationships, over time, people change, and you evolve and grow. And during those moments of evolution, it may be necessary to reintroduce yourself to the person who's known you for so long, and it may be necessary to say, hey, let me reintroduce myself. I'm growing. I've changed. I do things a little bit different. And then if you do explain yourself and it doesn't work, then you have to ask yourself, do the relationships that I have support who I am becoming? And so I think that's very important. I think it's very important for people who are single, who desire marriage or desire relationships. I think it's very important to think about the person that you like, the person that you desire, the person that you want in your life. Does that person support who you're becoming? Does that person support the growth that or the growth that you're going to grow? Can you grow with this person? And so that was very important to me to talk about. Does your relationship support your growth? And I'm going to post a comment here. Deb said, that's the way I feel about football. Takes too long to score. Yeah, it does. But I don't know. It's something about the tackle for me. It's something about the tackle in football and the roughing, and it's loud, and I just like it. I guess I'm a little bit dramatic, but I like it in that way. And so then we moved to episode 3, which was, to me, it was so good. And episode 3, was that my birth? I think that was my birthday. The day after my birthday, I think. But we had Niketa on, and I'm going to play a clip of that. Niketa Coleman. I call her Niketa, but it's Niketa Coleman.
Be there for everyone and any chance I get, but I may not necessarily be there for myself. And my journey is to be there for myself. Yes. So the first thing is forgiveness is self-care. Forgiveness is healing. Forgiveness is acceptance. Forgiveness is freedom. And one of the biggest phrases that I think of when you think about forgiving yourself is get out of your own way. I've been hearing that a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Get out of your own way.
Forgiveness is self-care. Forgiveness is healing. And a lot of times when we're struggling and we're in condemnation and we're struggling to forgive ourselves for whatever it is, it doesn't have to even be the same thing that somebody else may be plagued with, but whatever it is, we have to forgive ourselves and understand that forgiveness is self-care. So how is forgiveness self-care? Forgiveness is self-care, and that when you're feeling guilty about something, that's weighing on you. If you have a secret or or something that you've done, or something that a choice you made, you could have made a choice that was not the best choice for you. And it put you in all types of straits, dire straits. It puts you in just a horrible situation, right? And you're mad at yourself, especially for me. I'll give a moment of transparency here. In my younger years, I wasn't as responsible with credit. I didn't have a healthy relationship even with debt. I didn't understand it. And so those decisions that I made as a young woman, they went on with me in my life. They went on and traveled with me in my life and hurt me. And I remember being mad at myself for years for being irresponsible, or, for getting that car loan, or, getting that credit card. I didn't even realize it, but I had to forgive myself for those mistakes that I made. So I'm talking about something even as simple as that, y'all. That's why it's self-care, because if you carry that with you all the time, then you get into negative talk about yourself. People who may have a problem with their weight and diet and overeating, and then they say things about themselves like, well, I'm fat, and call themselves names and things like that. That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about, where you need to forgive yourself for even overeating. You need to forgive yourself for putting on too much weight. You need to forgive yourself for maybe times, in being a mother or even a father, where you probably felt like you made one mistake and you've been holding it over your head and things like that. That's what I'm talking about when I say forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for those things, because hold on, guys, I'm getting a message here. I think somebody wants to make a comment. But forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for what you have, what you've done that you might feel like in retrospect have hurt your life. So that was episode 3. Let's go to another one. Let's see what we have. Hold on, guys. And you guys, I said this last weekend, if you are following us, we are on Instagram as Niketa Nicole. We are on YouTube as Niketa Nicole. You can follow us on there. You can view us on Facebook as Dippity Dewdrops too, and on Facebook as Niketa Woodley. We also post this we have a Tumblr page as well. that we post our page, our streams on. So I want to look at one more before we go into our pandemic report. And this was from episode. Right. And I'm gonna tell you something. Even if they say next month, okay, we got everything under control. I'm still wearing my mask.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know when I'm gonna take my mask off.
I don't either. I don't
know when I'm gonna take it off.
I don't think I'm gonna ever be comfortable again without it.
I don't
You
know.
know what? I am right there with you.
I don't know. I just don't know when I'm gonna take my mask off.
I just don't know either.
It could be 2030. Y'all still might take my mask off. I don't know.
You know what? I don't think we are ever. I just don't know when I'm going to take my mask off. I thought that was so funny because I think about, what this pandemic has done to us. And I think about, even now, someone told me that there's another one of these strands, or what do you call them? Variants that are out now. And the new one starts with some kind of M name. And I stopped trying to keep up with all of these names because I sense that we are going to have more of them. I sense that they're going to be, more variants that we have. I sense that people are going to become where they need a third shot, and that we're going to just have to keep doing booster after booster after booster. So I don't know, y'all. I'm not feeling great about it at all. And I feel like, these numbers and stuff, that they are getting worse. Last week, I on one of my another website that I have and manage, I do the pandemic report weekly on this website. And from 1 week to the next, I do it every single week. And from 1 week to the next, the cases are about 6,000 new cases in Michigan. Every week, we're about 6,000 to 7,000 new cases in Michigan every single week. And the only reason why I know that is because every week I post on one of my other websites from the last week. So I'm going to say from like August 30th to September 6th, there were over 6,000 new cases of the coronavirus here in Michigan. Okay. So globally right now, as of today, total cases all over the world are 224,166,000. Total cases of coronavirus in all over the world. Total deaths all over the world, 4,622,000, and that's plus 622 plus thousand all over the world. And all over the world, vaccinations. I don't know about this number, but they say it's about 5,649,000,000 people who are vaccinated. But in Michigan, where I live, and where so many of you who are watching live, we have 1,088,000 cases, confirmed cases in Michigan. We're still 21,821 deaths. Now, we've been in the 21,000 mark all month and all of August. So we are not seeing as many deaths as rapidly and as often as we were. We've been in the 21,000 mark for some time now. But we're still having deaths. So it's 21,821 deaths to date. Total people tested, almost 16 million people have been tested. Our positivity rate has gone up. It was at 6.92. And it is at 7% now. Our positivity rate is at 7% now in Michigan. And people who have received the vaccination in Michigan is just over 10,310,000 people fully vaccinated. So the doses administered now, take a look at this, y'all. The doses administered is 10,310,263. But the people who are fully vaccinated is 5,099,000. Now that's interesting. That's almost, well, that's a 5 million hike. So that means to me is that half of the people who received the first dose haven't received their second dose, or didn't go back, or I don't know. I can't try to manipulate that data or extract it in any way, but doses administered 10 million, fully vaccinated, meaning they have the second dose, is 5,099,000. And the percentage of people vaccinated in Michigan, now check this out, this number has gone up. It's 51,000. I'm sorry, 51%, my bad. 51%. That number has gone up. And the reason why I know it is because I think when I did the last pandemic report last week, I want to say it was at 47%. So that 5% climb is really good. If we could get, like I always say every week, that I would feel comfortable better about even more outings and doing more things. I would feel better about that if we could get it to 70%, 75%. That would be great. Mom is tuning in, and she said if people would just wear their mask. Yeah, so true. Last night I went out to dinner with my friend, and I don't know. I went out. I felt like I needed the outing. I feel like I needed that time to, just some time, some grown-up time, and not to be just stuck in the house. Excuse me. Let me tell y'all something. I was nervous. And that's how I know things are getting bad again. Let me tell you something. I didn't take my mask off. Like I literally was eating mask. And I know people were like, well, why did she even come out? But I just, I wanted to get out. I wanted to, chill with my friend, and y'all, it's something. And we are almost 2 years in, and we are still wearing masks. And yeah, I don't know, guys, but last night, hardly anyone were wearing masks. Everyone was and no judgment at all, because people feel differently about masks and the vaccination. And I've been talking to people. I was talking to my cousin the other day, and she was saying, hi, Kathy. Thank you, Sandy, for tuning in. I know you commented. You said that's true. It's such an easy thing to do. I must have missed the comment, but thanks. Kathy is Sandy. Sandy and I worked together many, many years ago. But thank you for tuning in. But yeah, people have different feelings about the mask. People have different, they view it differently, and I'm okay with however anyone wants to view it. I'm okay with all of it. I'm not judging anyone for getting the vaccination. I'm not judging anyone for not getting the vaccination. I just want to be respected for whatever I do or whatever I choose to do, and I'm going to respect other people. The division that I'm seeing with the mask, the whole mask wearing and stuff, that division, it's just ridiculous. We shouldn't be, it's just, it's almost like we'll try to find anything to be divided on. And really, we just need to love one another regardless of what their decision is to mask or not wear a mask. But the numbers, there's more infections. Numbers are still climbing, y'all, and we have to be safe, and we have to take care of ourselves. And it came to me the other day, and I guess I'll share this with y'all, that be careful when you're out about touching your face, because you know how sometimes, we get in the car and we think that after we've been in the store and we've either handed someone our credit card. All right, we've either handed them our credit card or we've touched that, typed in that little machine to enter your debit pin or whatever. If you're not wearing gloves and you don't have gloves on during that interaction, then you're possibly picking up germs. And sometimes we get back to our car. I know my ritual. I have a ritual when I get back to my car. We get back to our car and we pull the mask off. Well, careful when we pull that mask off and you're pulling from behind your ears with the hand that you were touching and doing all of that with. So I think about that stuff. So let's just be careful with these new variants and strands, that we're not touching our face and being mindful of that. As soon as I get back in my car, I got an alcohol spray bottle and I'm spraying myself down, and I'm spraying my phone down because I'm touching my phone when I leave the store after I've touched the keypad in the store, and I'm touching my phone, and it's nerve-wracking, y'all. I'm telling you, and we will never forget this. We will go back. I'll never forget this, but I want to go back to what my cousin and I were talking about. Because she had been seeing posts and she had been seeing things online about whether to mask people who are free and fine without wearing their mask. And that's fine. But most people, a lot of people, and this was based on a CNN poll. It's not but based on a poll on CNN, people that who have had their vaccinations don't feel a strong desire to mask. And then there are people who have not taken their vaccination and they still don't feel a strong desire to mask. But then there are people who have taken their first and second dose and won't leave the house without a mask. So these are all different types of preferences. And no one should be judged for any of it, And I'm telling you, I remember I was in Whole Foods and I had my mask on and there was a woman in there with her son. Well, he looked like her son. And they didn't have mask on. Didn't bother me a bit. But she began to hackle. And I mean, I'm talking about this cough was like a pneumonia, bronchitis, infection type cough, y'all. Like it was ongoing and ongoing. And this lady, now I was distanced from her. I was at about, so this is her and this is me. I'm at a good distance from her. And I remember thinking, I need to bag out. I need to bag out of here. I need to come out of this lane. And I began to feel away, y'all. And I'm going to be honest with you. I believe it was obvious what I did. And she could have had a tickle in her throat. She could have had I don't know. It could have been anything. But I immediately thought COVID-19. Okay. And I looked and I immediately moved away from her. And I know that had to be obvious. And I'm like, God, what do we do? Because I don't want to be that person that's just like, don't touch me. It was just a awkward moment to be in. But I just thought, who would do that? Like, if you're not wearing a mask, we are in a very hypersensitive climate right now. We are in a very sensitive, this is a sensitive moment that we're in right now. Who would be coughing in a grocery store? You don't have a mask on. You're not even covering your mouth. Did you not think about what other people would think about that? Y'all tell me, y'all drop a line in the comments and y'all tell me what y'all think about that and what y'all would have did in that situation. Because, we want to be human. We want to have human interactions, real, kind, compassionate interactions. But in that moment, I just felt like I got to get out of this aisle. And what's up with this lady? Because what if it was COVID? So, but this is the climate that we're in, y'all. This is where we're at. And I think we're going to be dealing with this for a long time. Takessa Coleman said exit stage left. She said exit stage left. Yeah, for real. Because like soon as she started that coughing, I felt good that I was in a good distance. But you know that they say that from your mouth when we talk, if we don't have a mask on, it's like aerosol, it sprays. So just imagine all of the coughing that she was doing that was spraying. So even if you're distanced, if somebody were to turn around that corner, I always think about things like that. Someone were to turn around that corner, all right, where she was coughing, and if they didn't have a mask, they might have ran all into those germs. You know, so I think about stuff like that. Erica Arrington, she said, I might have gave a dirty look. I probably did in that moment. I'm not going to even lie, y'all. I don't know what I think I probably was like, you know, like, what? You know, but I had to fix my face quickly. But I think my initial reaction was just like, what? What is going on here? You know, and then I said, well, don't, you know, just leave. Like Takessa said, exit stage left. So, but yeah, y'all, I'm just telling you that we are in, and I don't know when it's going to end. And I keep on waiting to be for the time when we are in a post-COVID atmosphere, climate, and environment, right? That's our hope, that we can really, really get past this. Sandy says, she said, I would back away. If you know you have a cough for any reason, it's just reasonable to cover your face. I agree. And that's why I thought it was very inconsiderate of her. And I'm going to tell you something else. Since Sandy said that, I'm going to go ahead and take it a little step further. I'm going to stretch it here. Do you know that when I looked at her, she kind of looked at me like, oh, well, what are you looking at? Yeah. And I was just like, oh, yeah, let me get away from her. She didn't really, you can tell she didn't care two twiddling thumbs about her hacking like that in the store. I know I probably would have said, cover your mouth while running away. I love that. Mom says, I would have said, cover your mouth while running away. Yeah, it was just ridiculous. It was. And I don't know if people do that on purpose or what, but it just didn't seem at all right. It didn't seem thoughtful. It didn't seem compassionate at all. So yeah, so that's where we are, y'all, with this pandemic. And so we just got to keep our mask on. Those of us who believe in wearing masks, and stay safe. And another thing that I want to say finally, with respect to the children, I was talking to my one of my girlfriends last night, and I was telling her to keep her son is back in school, like in school, physical interactions in school, and she wasn't happy about it. And I said, just, you know, we were just talking about praying and covering the kids, because it's September, a lot of the kids are going back to school. And y'all, the kids are getting sick. It's been on the news. The kids are getting sick. And if you remember when COVID first came out, they were saying, oh, well, the kids will be okay, or, you know, but I guess with the variants and things like that, you know, I don't know. But the kids, the little babies, the little ones are getting sick. So we've got to teach the kids how to socially distance. We've got to send them to school with sanitizer. We've got to have conversations about not getting too close to other kids. It's crazy that even the babies are being affected by this. And I don't know how I feel about the kids going back to school right now. And, you know, it's one of those things that moms do need a break, and they need teachers to teach their kids. Because what happened with COVID was that you have ordinary moms who don't have any teacher training, no teacher certification. at home trying to teach the kids, and it was hard, and they were working at the same time. And I could say a whole lot about that whole that education from home for the kids, because when I was in corporate America, a lot of people who were on my team, who came to me on many occasions, and said, you know, it's hard for me when I'm on the phones, and it's hard for me to do XYZ, Niketa, when my kids are in the background, and they would ask me for time, so that at a certain hour they would say, can you give me some time so that I can go over my kids' lesson? Or, my kids go to lunch from school at a certain time, and I got to stop and make them lunch. So can you give me some time here? And I would have to update their schedule and stuff, and just, try to support my employees in this whole homeschooling thing. And um, so that's a lot on parents who are at home, who are working from home, and then they are, having to, stop, help them with their lesson and things like that. So, um, yeah. So anyway, guys, that's our pandemic report. Every week we talk about the pandemic and how it's affecting us, and things like that. Let's go to another video and this was another one from episode 6. So episode 6 was 5, 6, 7. Episode 6 was, I think, part 2, or no, it was part 1 or part 2. I can't remember, y'all. But anyway, this was episode 6, and I think it was part 2. Right, and I'm gonna tell you something. We are as women, and then I think one of probably the most creative things about being a woman is that, to me, it feels, if you can have children with being a woman, and then have a business, and then go to school, and then do all of these different things, that makes you a phenomenal woman.
I always say, that, in terms of female liberation, I always say, I think it was a better way that could have been done, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. But, a lot of things, it's nothing wrong with a man opening the door for us. There's nothing wrong with,
Yeah.
him paying the dinner bill, and we're not, sharing the bill, and not, some of this stuff, I tell you, I don't subscribe to it. But, so, because we lose something in that. And I think that, as
Yeah.
women, we were not designed, we were designed for certain things. And when we have to provide and all of these things, it puts us in a position, because even when you look at the Proverbs 31 woman, those of us who are believers, she was a businesswoman, but she had a covering.
Yeah, she was.
She had a covering. She was not the provider of her home.
Good stuff, y'all. Let me tell you something. We covered a lot of stuff in that episode of being woman. But this is what I feel about being woman. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter what you do as a woman. Nothing is insignificant. Because I think that we are so multi-dimensional as women, that it's an exploit. Anything we do, it's like exploits. You know what I mean? It's phenomenal because we occupy so many roles, because so many moms were moms, had to be the mother and the father. And I know that a woman is not the man, but I'm saying she had to cover those roles. But the idea, and I believe this, and I said this in episode 9, is that I believe in roles. I do. I believe in the father being in the home with the mother. I am very traditional in that way. And yes, women can do it on their own, but I just don't believe we were designed to. I believe God intended us for us to be fully woman while the man was fully male. That's just my belief. And so um, you have women who are raising kids, you have women who are, pursuing their education, going to work every day, a part of their community, a part of their church. That's a phenomenal woman to me, hands down, black or white or any other race. Women are important and women are necessary. So, mom said that she doesn't agree with the children going back to school right now. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that either. But even when I was referencing when I was in corporate America, how I would have employees that came to me about taking care of the kids, making sure the kids understood their lessons, um, making sure the kids had snacks during snack time and lunchtime and break time, and trying to do that, and then going back to their jobs. You know, it's a lot. It really, really is, y'all. And I used to feel really bad that they were in those tight squeezes that way, doing it all on their own. So, shout out to phenomenal women everywhere. Uh, what else did we do? Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Oh, I think I got another comment. Hold on. Okay. Oh, here we go. I missed this comment. Mom said, I think it's utterly disrespectful because she is aware of the climate we're in. That's of the pandemic report. Yeah, yeah, but this is where we are. And this is why, like I said, it's important to stay masked up. Um, because we can only be responsible for ourselves and not other people. So this we shared this in episode 8 of the spots we missed, and this is another one of our highlights from the season. And this right before Thanksgiving, we're going to be doing another pull up and serve. Stay tuned, guys, so that I can give y'all the dates. I had people tell me last time, they said, let me know ahead of time. Let me know. So, because people want to support, and I need to let you guys know a little bit more in advance. And I said I was going to start sending out some text messaging, letting you know when we're packing boxes or when we're packing things up. So yeah, we'll be doing that right before Thanksgiving, and we'll be unless I find another location, we'll be going back to the neighborhood service organization. And I'll just let you guys know that this is something that we do every year, and there was a time in 2020 when we went, and the homeless people were so displaced. They were not in their normal areas. What I found out later is that they had been moved, and Niketa's Pull Up and Serve has worked with neighborhood service organization to assist with lunches, and just to help these organizations who are supporting people who are having a tough time and who are homeless and can't really take care of themselves. The other thing that I want to discuss before we head out, and that is today is 20 years. Today marks 20 years of 9/11. And I always say that, you know, it doesn't seem like 20 years have passed. It really doesn't, because it really just feels like the other day that it happened. And I remember what I was doing when 9/11 happened. My mother called me and she said, "Are you watching the news?" And I'm not listen, I'm not the biggest morning person, y'all. So it was like maybe 9 something in the morning or something like that. And I was like, "No, I'm not." And she's like, she was like, "A plane just went into the towers and they don't know what it was. If it was an accident, they don't know what happened." And I said, "A plane?" She said, "A plane." She said, "It's on the news right now." So I go to the news and I'm looking and I'm like, "Oh my God." And I just see the building smoking. And y'all, I'm watching and I'm watching. And before my very eyes, I literally watch the second plane hit the towers. And I am outdone. I am out of my mind with devastation. I have never in my how fast that plane went in that tower. I have never since seen anything like it. You know, what we saw in 2001, what we saw was equivalent to what we see in movies. What we saw is equivalent to what we see in movies. And so, y'all, I've not seen anything like it since. And then the aftermath, every single day watching, hoping that they can pull somebody else alive from the rubbish, and how that our expectations began to dwindle day after day of finding anybody alive, and seeing the our first responders, looking at them and seeing them. It was like something that I have never ever seen before. And I have a clip here, so hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can play this. I was having a issue with you all being able to hear my videos, and I do hope you can hear this, but I'm gonna try to see if I can take it back a little bit. Okay, hold on, y'all. Just bear with me a moment. It was coming low. You know, it's so low. I just don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear this. Let me just see real quick. All right, I'm going to share my screen really quickly just to see if y'all and hopefully you can see it or hear it. I don't even know if you'll be able to hear it, but I just want you to see how that how it hit the towers, and I was just in disbelief. And y'all, this is the original video from 2001 because I was looking for the original video. I didn't want just a replay of it. I wanted the original video, and this was on Fox 4 Good Day, September 11th, 2001. Are y'all able to see my screen?
Because if I was to see a plane that was going high, and it's all right, but this was coming low. It's very visible.
Can you see the streets below the World Trade Center?
No, I cannot because I'm on Hudson Street.
You're on Hudson?
Yeah, I'm on Hudson Street in Franklin. So
now you say you were out there grabbing a smoke when it happened?
Right.
What did the other people do when they heard the noise?
Well, there was noise. I'm up on the 14th floor.
Oh, you're on the 14th floor.
Yeah,
I see.
so I'm not street level. I was up on the 14th floor, and I was just like looking out, just watching scenery, and when I saw the plane.
All right, Rosa, thank you very much. Talking with eyewitness Rosa Cardona Rivera on the 14th floor of a building very close to the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. And once again, Dick Oliver was on the scene down at City Hall reporting to us. However, our transmitter is located on top of the World Trade Center building, so that apparently caused our picture from that remote to just go out on us. But once again, yes?
I don't know. I was just saying, I can imagine what the people there must be going through, given what happened there a decade ago.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Dave?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, if it indeed was a plane, the FAA or the control towers at one of the three major airports should have record of what's in the area. Sometimes they do vector planes around the southern tip of Manhattan. We might want to get a hold of Nick Gregory, who's a certified pilot and, again, flies through the area pretty regularly. Number two, even though planes typically are not that close to these buildings, with the possibility of anything from engine failure to hydraulic failure, you lose control of your ability to control aircraft. You can see right now probably police helicopters hovering right around the towers. But again, wind speeds at this point, not tremendous at all. Flying conditions near perfect.
And of course, they would have to, under ordinary circumstances, have filed some sort of a flight plan. If it were a plane that, and it apparently, according to the lady we spoke to, eyewitness just a few moments ago, she did see a plane go in there. Now, I'm told that it may be a twin-engine plane that simply smashed. It looks like it went head-on, smack into the World Trade Center building. One could only expect, given the weather conditions, given looking at that picture live right there, that it went smack inside the World Trade Center. And if that is the case, I'm afraid we've got a tragedy on our hands.
We've got something coming across the wire here, James, but actually it's nothing more than what you've already been reporting. Witnesses report hearing a huge explosion.
Yeah, well, we're looking at, there's no doubt there was a huge explosion and fire, lots of black smoke coming from that building.
Large holes right in the sides of the World Trade Center, 110 stories high. No word yet of any injuries or deaths, but no doubt there is panic right now inside that building as the flames and smoke are filling those upper floors. We're going to have more for you as we continue live coverage here on Fox 4.
It just drove right through and in Hoboken, but I have a clear view right at the World Trade Towers.
Now, it did seem to you that it was done on purpose?
You know, I don't know if I can say that, but it was a very odd type of turn. It was headed directly at the building. So whether that was on purpose or not, I can't tell. I don't know if he was trying to avoid or they were headed for it.
Describe that turn for us. It was particularly heavily banked?
It was pretty heavily banked. Maybe 45 degrees. Again, hard to tell. It was kind of unremarkable because you do see.
Now, after the plane struck the building, from your vantage point, it apparently went directly inside.
That's correct.
And if that's the case, my goodness.
Yeah, actually, as
apparently it went right through the. We're looking at a live picture of the building right now, Jim, and what would you say that would be about the 90th floor or so?
Yeah, I saw the one right through, but no. I mean, I couldn't tell if the plane was in distress or anything like that, but certainly when it hit, there was a locked side as well.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. I've been talking to Jim Friedel, eyewitness Jim Friedel in Hoboken said it appeared to bank sharply and smash directly, perhaps purposefully, into, oh my goodness.
Oh, God.
There's another one. Oh my goodness, there's another one.
This seems to be on purpose.
Jim Friedel in Hoboken said it appeared to bank sharply and smash directly, perhaps purposefully, into, oh my goodness.
Oh, God.
There's another one. Oh my goodness, there's another one.
This seems to be on purpose.
Oh my goodness, now it's obvious, I think, that there's a second plane just crashed into the World Trade Center. I think we have a terrorist act of proportions that we cannot begin to imagine at this juncture. Oh my God. My goodness. A second plane now has crashed into the other tower of the World Trade Center. Obviously, suicide, terrorist attack on the World Trade Center. What we have been fearing. What we have been fearing for
my God
apparently has come to pass. A disastrous
Mm-hmm.
terrorist attack on the World Trade Center.
That was, y'all. Yeah, Mom said it still saddens my heart. Yeah, it's just like to be watching television and to just see that plane, that second plane hitting that tower. It's just like unimaginable, unbelievable. and unimaginable. And if you could hear them talking when the first plane hit, they were thinking it was just an accident, that a plane just accidentally hit a building. And they were talking about, what the guy was saying. Well, it kind of looked like it was on purpose, but he was like, he was at an angle, and when he hit it, and just, and then when you saw that second one, they immediately said, oh, this is on purpose. This is on purpose. And y'all, I'm telling y'all, it's something. And so today marks 20 years. And I think that September 11th, 2001, and every year after is like a memorial. It's in memoriam to all of those essential care workers, first responders, people who were just going to work that day and who lost their lives. It was just something. And then to see and watch the building fall, it was really, really something, y'all. So I wanted to just show that today and honor those first responders, honor those people who lost their lives. And they were, they were saying that that nothing has hit this country so hard since that time. And the only thing that we can compare to it in terms of lives being lost, and not necessarily a terrorist attack, is this pandemic. And so, yeah, this is a really rough time that we're living in with this pandemic, because it is devastating, but nothing is as devastating as what we saw on September 11, 2001. So just, remembering them today, saying a special prayer for the families, first responders, essential workers that helped get us through that time. All right, guys, I think I have one more video, and then I have two. Actually, I have two. I have a recap from episode 8. Take a look at that. Nicole, and I look forward to sharing with you again on next week.
I'm just trying to, find my way through life, man, and stay on the right path. I've taken the wrong path a few times in my life, but now I'm on the right path. I just noticed that I found my most clearest time when I was in my darkest. That's when I got my true clarity, when I was in my darkest time in my life. That's when I realized that, I have to stay in the light. You know what I mean? The darkness is, it's not a good place for me. I don't think it's a good place for anybody. But that's when I realized, when I was at my lowest, that's when I got the total clarity of what I needed to do in life. And I'm following that path, and so far it's going pretty good.
I love it. I love it.
I want to say before leaving, as far as men goes, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be emotional, and to connect with that inner you, to let out emotions, because we're so accustomed to, and we're groomed to not have or cry or shed emotions. No, it's okay, and just put God first. Keep praying, keep going.
All the time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. He was such a special young man. He is such a special young man. And he just has he was dropping some jewels and some nuggets for us on that episode, y'all. And I really appreciated him coming on. And then my uncle, one of the things I found, I wrote a blog post for you guys to check out. It's called Small Glimmers Everywhere, talking about hope. And I quoted my uncle in that blog post because he said something so special and so powerful. He said that in my darkest moments is when I found my most I had the most clarity. So clarity came out of those darkest moments, and he said that, he's walking in the light, and I quoted him on that in my blog post called "Small Glimmers Everywhere," and that you can check out my blog post, and it's Niketa Nicole at WordPress.com. That's our blog post, and I'll post it up there so you guys can take it out. Erica said, "I felt that." Yeah, that the episode being man was probably one. This was my favorite series, I think, because we hear women talk. We like to talk. Women, we can talk all day long. We can do that. We can get in a group, girl. Get us get us some food or some snacks, our favorite drink, and we can just get at it. But it's something about hearing men talk that I just love. I love to hear that, and I love to hear men talk, and to hear Antoine say that it's okay for men to cry. For men to be able to talk that way and have that support system is a beautiful thing. So I'm just so grateful to LT Bourne, Antoine Jackson, my uncle Anthony Edgar, since he calls me Niketa Nicole, and to my cousin Demiso Arrington for contributing to our series Being Man. We have part 1 and we have part 2, and I'm going to be putting up. I'm going to do the highlights that I'm doing here. I'm going to post those highlights on our social pages so people can see what we were talking about, and also catch up on those episodes if they missed them. So, you guys, it has been great with you all today, highlighting with you all 10 episodes of the Spots We Miss podcast and live talk. And I'm going to keep on going with it. I'm going to stick beside it. I'm going to stick beside it. And keep on coming to you guys week after week and learning from you and sharing with you. And I really appreciate it. And so if you guys noticed, I was posting one video and then I changed it, right? The last video, and I switched to the other video because I had to save that video for last. Because I got so much joy out of that part of that episode in Being Man part 1, and I wanted to save it for last. So if you were tuning in and you saw me post a little bit of it, I hit the wrong button. And I said I got to save that part for last. So here goes. Here goes, y'all. Here goes to Niketa Nicole and how that name came to be. Bear with me here. Here we go. Nicole, and I look forward to sharing with you again on next week. Thank you.
Before you go, tell them where you got that from. Niketa Nicole. Tell them where you got Niketa Nicole from, though.
You know what? And listen, you know what? You know what? Because I was doing good. I was getting my outro done. I was getting ready to flip my video. I was doing my spew. And here you go. But I'm glad you brought it up. So I am so glad you brought it up. So my mother and my father named me Niketa Nicole Woodley. And as a kid, and I'm talking about I was a kid. I'm talking about a kid.
A kid.
Like I might have been 7 years old, kid. And this one, Anthony Arrington, never called me Nikki. I mean, very seldom, but it was Niketa Nicole. Niketa Nicole, what are you doing, Niketa Nicole? What are you up to, Niketa Nicole? Niketa Nicole. And I, at that tender age, would be like, why is that necessary? You know, as a kid, I would be like, well, why is it necessary for him to do that? Like, I don't see the point. And then, as I got older, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I got so used to him calling me Niketa Nicole that when I began to do my branding and begin to do things, move in a different direction, with things that I wanted to do, I said, okay, it's Niketa Nicole from here on out.
Yeah. That's
So
what's up.
Anthony Arrington is responsible for that. Now, can I do my spew? I crack up at that all the time. I say, so now can I do my spew? But so yeah, as a kid, y'all, kid, he was always Niketa Nicole. And I would be like, why is this necessary? Why must he be like this? And I grew to love it. And having said all of that, I am your host, Niketa Nicole. And these are the spots we miss. I thank you for tuning in to episode 10. Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you for everything that you have contributed to this season. And I certainly do appreciate everyone who has come on the show. If you've even just left comments, if you interact with us, anything that you do with us, I appreciate it, because you don't have to share time out of your day or anything. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love and all of that. And don't forget, y'all, let me move that banner and cease, because I want to make sure that, hold on. I'll take that off. Okay. And don't forget, guys, if you can see my t-shirt, you see that? It's the spots we miss. You can purchase that t-shirt by going on my site. If you look at in any of our social platforms, you'll be able to see the link in our bio, and you click that link and it'll take you to our t-shirts. So yeah, thank you so much, y'all, for supporting us. Thank you for everything. Kathy, Sandy, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Erica, for tuning in. Erica says, she says, love it. Wishing you many more blessings. Deb said in response to the video, that was hilarious. You got to add that clip to your outro. I think I am. But yeah, guys, these are the spots we missed. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love y'all for just watching and staying tuned with us. Stick with me. Thank you so much. These are the spots we missed. I'm your host, Niketa Nicole.
They didn't know which way to go. So, if you have the ability to find a good support group, find even one person that you trust, tell them what you need, tell them what you need help with, tell them how you're feeling, and you'd be surprised. They might